Hi, welcome to SAP BW session 8. In this session, we're going to see how to load the data into the master data info object. In our previous session, we saw that how to create info object as a info provider, right? For example, right, if you can go to, if you can see this, I just want to refresh a little bit what we saw last time. The master data has contain three different properties, like one is attribute, text, and hierarchies, right? So these are all different types of master data. Okay, so we can have either attributes only, or text only, or hierarchies only. Okay, so this, to load the master data, we can create info object as a table. Previously we have been creating only info object as an just for only loading one of the rows, right? But now we will create a, if you can see in your info object here, the master data, right? Here we created a product ID, and then underneath we created a two, but like these are the attributes, right? These are the attributes, like we based on the data what we have. This is an attribute, right? This is basically an attribute table, right? This is a text file. So product ID is there, color and price, right? In the same way, attribute is basically a description of an item. So product ID again we have, and then we have the description of the product. So usually we will have different types of data file for attributes and text. We cannot load everything together. Okay. So we already created the two info objects, right? On top of the product ID, we created color and then price, right? And we have this here. Okay. And for the text, we don't have to create one. Like I said, text, all the three different texts are available in the info object itself. Now, by default, short text will be assigned, checked, so you can have one text. If you want to have more than one text, then you need to edit this and then include these two as well. Okay. So now let's see how to load data into the to this info provider. So before doing that, what we have to do, one more step is we have to create the info provider here. So how do you create it? I already created it, but I can say like this, like you can, let me just, I cannot delete this one, but I can just give you another. So right click, okay, insert characteristics as a info provider. So these are all different info providers. When you are loading master data, you have to say like this, insert characteristics. Okay, let's take this. So I click insert. I'm going to, it's asking the info object name, right? I'm giving the info object name. Okay. So this is already created, so it is not giving me another one. But if this is not available, then you will have a info provider created with master data attribute and master data text. Okay. So this is the second step we should do. Okay. Let me write that steps for you. Give me 1 second. It should take, usually it takes okay. Session 8, loading master data. Okay. We already in the session 7 we created step 1. Let's do like step 1. Created info object and attributes for product ID. Okay. Step 2 is to create info provider, like what we did right now, right? So right click on it and then create info, characteristics as info provider. So what does it do is, so these are all three-dimensional, right? This one is basically we are creating the info object as a info provider, which will have the dependency of the attributes. Okay. This is the top level, the characteristic is the top level, and then drill down is navigation. These are all attributes, right? Okay, after you do this, the next step is to create now we need to load data, right? So create data source. Okay, let's create the data source right now. Okay, and we will know how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the same application component where we had, and I'll create a data source. Right click, create data source. Okay, and give a data source name. For example, Z. Okay, ZMD attribute. Okay, and then the data source data type is attributes, right? Attributes, master data attribute. Okay. Okay, if you want, you can give the object name as well. Okay, let's do the attributes. Give this one. Okay, Z. Okay, click OK. So now we are going to create an attribute for data source for the attribute so that you can load data, right? So I'm going to give some Z DS EMD attribute. Okay, I just don't want to spend some time here. We can just do whatever you want, and then extraction, right? So extraction, we're going to extract from a local workstation, correct? So I'm going to extract from local workstation, flat file. Okay. Okay, I'm going to select this attribute. We need to ignore the first row. I have to close this one first here, otherwise it will not work. Okay, because whenever you're trying to load a data from a flat file, that has to be closed. It should not be. When you have it in the local workstation. Okay, if it is an application server, again, if it is open, you cannot do it. Okay, so that's basically so default, and then it's not a fixed length. You're going to do a comma separated value. Okay, give us comma separated. Okay, now I go to the next one. I'm going to, you can check all these things. Okay, what are this data and everything. Okay, fine, right? Okay, load data. It's asking me to allow, right? Okay, fine, right? Fields, you can say yes. Okay, see, there are two things. One is you can even give the, if you know the info object name, you can always give the info objects for all these three. These are all coming from the from where? From the flat file, right? If you want to give the info object name, you can always give it. When you give info object name, and then when you go to the transformation, it will automatically, link it to the to the corresponding info objects. But we are not giving this right now. We will have to try in a different method. Okay, I'm going to give preview, read preview data. You have to activate always. Remember to activate always. Okay, it's loading now. This is just bringing data from the flat file to the data source only. Okay, that's actually PSA. It's called PSA, persistent storage area. Okay, I'll just give it right. Okay, then now we have this is the data from flat file, right? So now we have created a data source. So I have to go to the info provider, right? If I go to info provider, what will be there? There will be two things, like create data transformation, DTP. So before going to that place, there is one more step we need to do. Okay. What we have to do? There's something called step 4, create info package. Okay. Right click. Okay. Create info package. Give info package name ZIP master data attribute. Okay. All right. So this is when it comes to the SAP. So right now this is data source, means we are creating a source. We are telling SAP that this is the source and this is the data. Okay. Same sample data. Okay. Extraction. Again, everything will be same. All right. And then start. So it says data requested, right? How do you see the data which is loading? You can go to call monitor. Okay, the data is loaded, 9 record is loaded, successfully loaded, right? Okay, I'm just refreshing. All right, okay. Let's go now to the info provider area and then attributes, right? First thing is the attribute. Okay, right click, create transformation. Okay, it's saying, okay, info object attributes. Source of the transformation is what? Data source, right? What's the data source name? Okay. Yes. Okay. I should have copied it. So let me just take. Let's do this one. Okay. We'll create another instance. And then go to the data source. Okay. Now we know the data source, right? ZDS MD. Okay. Copy. Right click again. Transformation. Object type is data source. The data source name. Flat file is. Okay. Click OK. Okay. Now see, if you can see this one, when I was creating the data source, if you are given the info object name, then it automatically will connect the transformation. Okay. Now I did not give it, so that we will get used to the this, so that we know how to connect everything, right? So that's why I'm trying to give. Okay. Product ID is product ID. Color is color. Okay. Price is price. Okay. And then activate it. Okay, you activated it. It automatically created another folder called data transfer process. Right click, create data transfer process. Okay, it will have everything, whatever we need to. Object target of the TTP is info object. sources, data source. Okay, you connected the data source and the info provider. Now we are going to transfer the data from data source to the info provider. Okay, click on OK. Okay, update. Right. Okay, execute button will not be activated, and then you have to click activate. It's okay. Okay, and then now execute. It's asking, do you want to display? Yeah, I want to display. It says record is loaded. So because it's 9 only, just 9 records, so it is already loaded, right? Okay. Let's just do a refresh here. Okay, now the data is loaded. You need to know, you want to see what we did is we only loaded the attributes, not the text, right? Let me go and see what we have to maintain. You select the info object, right click, maintain master data. Okay. This is coming because in 7.4, all the master data is loaded in the server level, like it is at the from so until 7.3, master data was loaded within the SAP itself, but master data in after 7.3 above, all the information of the master data will be loaded in the cloud level. Okay, so that's the change they did in the master data, probably in the 7.4. Okay, so there needs to be a configuration set up for this to be viewed, the data to be viewed here. Okay, so let me just go back. So okay, so when you click on this one, if you can go to the click on manage, right? You won't be able to see the data. I'm just showing you. Okay, content. Let's see whether you can see from here or not. See, you cannot see because everything 7.4, all the information is being stored in the at the server level. Okay, so this has to be configured in the production environment. You will have this configuration done, and then you can see the data there. Okay, right? But you can try to load this data again, like in the same way whatever we did. In the same way, again for this we loaded attribute, right? We should also load the text, right? What I should do is I have to go to the data source again, right click, application, same application component, data source, Z, DS, text. Okay, and then master data, text, object type is info object, subtype is text, info object is okay, right? I'm going to give you the text. Okay, extraction from the flat file. Okay, ignore the first row. Fixed length is CSV, comma, proposal. Okay, and then fields. Don't have to worry about the fields. Okay, if you want to give, you can give it here. Otherwise, no. Read preview data. You have to activate it. Activate. Allow. Okay, you see the product ID and product description. So this product ID will be always there. Description is the one which you're going to add, right? Again, next step is to create the info package, right? Z, IP, MD, text. Okay, save. If you see, all the information will be there. Okay, okay, just click on start. So it's going to bring the data into the PSA. Okay, if you want to see whether data is loaded or not, you can see. Okay, data is loaded. Okay, right. Just double click on this one. You go to the manage PSA. This is the persistent storage area, right? You want to see the data here. It has 9 records. This is where you can make sure the data is in the SAP. Okay. You can also, sometimes there will be a problem. For example, in a real-time environment, right? Every day the data will be loaded into the business warehouse from different source system. Could be from ECC or from a flat file or from a non-SAP data source, some database or HANA, everything, right? So sometimes users might not type the value correctly. It could have some special characters. So at that time, the process chain will fail. So if this process chain fails, first thing we need to see is there any error in the PSA maintenance? If you see there is an error, then what you should do is you can come to the PSA and click on this button, and you can change the records here. Okay. Usually there will not be tons of records to change it, maybe 1 or 2. At that time you can do like this, right? Okay. Okay, now the data is loaded in text, right? I go back to the info provider, right? We loaded the attributes. Now we're going to load the text again, right? Create transformation. Object type is what? Data source, right? Data source is not this one, right? Text, right? Let's do this. Refresh. So this is actually text, MD text. Text. Okay, source system. Use the same source system only. Click OK. Again, it's not there, right? Okay. When you see here, there is something called, did I do it right? No, right? I did not do it right, right? Basically, I have to put it to the text here, right? The language is the one which is missing. So let's see whether it is working or not. We should have given another field called language in the text file, right? Because it does not know what language it is basically. Let's see what it is doing. Okay. Right, activate it. It says that no source fields assigned to rule. No. Okay. So now we know that when you created let's go to this place. So these are all the real-time errors you should know, because probably they will also ask you the interview question as well. Okay. So you should know that whether language was not available at all when you go. How will you find out there is a language is independent? How will you find out language dependent? When you go to here, if you have seen here, right, there is something called language dependent, right? Text. So this is what we know is if short text is checked here, then there will be a new field created, right? In the same way, if you think that the language is also different or language is going to be the same, then we should also add a new field in the text file, right? Otherwise, this text file we cannot be able to load the text data, right? So what I'm going to do now is, let's go back. This is a very good example, right? Okay, let's go back and then say lang. Okay, en. It's all English. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to save that. Let's see how it's going to work now. Okay, I save, right? Okay, now what we should do? You have to go all the way back to our data source, right? Data source, and all these are. That's okay. We're not going to do this one, right? We will come back, right? So now, let me just delete the info package. Okay, it's actually used by because it's here. Let's go out and come back. Yes, I'm having 2 sessions, so it's not helping me. Okay. Log in again. All right. So what are we doing here? We have to load the text file again, right? I'm going to just delete this one. Okay. Delete it, right? Let's delete everything. Okay. Now right click. What we should do? First of all, you have to change the data file again and try to see whether it's working fine or not, right? Load example. There should be one more field here, Lango, okay? Right? Okay. Now read preview data. Okay. You have to activate it, right? You activate it, right? Okay. See, this is not helping us because it's still showing only 2 fields here, right? So there is something wrong with whatever I have done it. Let's go and see the text file what we created. Okay. Let me save as. Okay, so we'll do as a text language, right? Okay, CSV. Okay. I close this. Let's do one more time. We'll all the way delete this, right? And create all over again. Okay. Then you will know whether it's working fine or not, right? So this is a very good example. You should know whenever you are creating an info object, you have to make sure that if it is a language dependent, you should always have the field checked, and then we should have a new have a field here also in the data file as well. Okay. Let's wait for a few minutes. It should be done. Okay, we are done. Okay, again I'm going to do a right click, create data source. Okay, same thing. Let's do L. Okay, let's see whether it's working. More than 9, not than 8. Okay. Text. What is the info object? Subtype is text. In info object export ID. Click OK. Okay, that's okay. See, because we already changed a lot of activities, it's telling us data structure changes or start transaction. Okay, again. Okay. So SAP is designed in a very good way. Okay, so see, when we are doing a lot of activities and deleting it, it's asking us to go back to the transaction, refresh everything and come back because we are not doing right. That's what it's telling, okay? Okay, then I go to the data source. Info object. By this time, you guys would have been already mastered this one, right? We've been doing a couple of times right now. Okay, again, text, type, okay, okay, extraction, go back to the, find the, okay, first to be ignored is 1, fixed length now, comma separated value, comma, okay, proposal, load data, okay, so it's changed automatically, right? You see that? Okay, now you see 3, right? Review, activate. Now preview data. Hello. We'll have to see the language also here. Okay. Now let's go back to the info provider again. Right. And we loaded the attribute. We should also load the text file also. Create transformation. Object type is what? Data source. Right. That's the data source name. It's here, right? ZDS, EMD, TXT, L. Okay. This is the one. Okay. Click OK. Okay. Now see automatically language is automatically done. Connected, right? Product ID. And then the description is the text. Now let's check this one. Is it going to give error? No. Okay. Activate. This is it says that length is not same. That's okay. Okay. Now data transfer process. Create data transfer process. Everything is set now. Okay. And it. Okay. So one more thing you should see is always the master data is a full update. Okay. There is not delta update at all. Always master data is a full update only. Okay. 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 I'm going to give an exercise. It says that there was an error, right? Not an error, it's a warning, right? Use semantic grouping for extraction. Okay. Try to find out what is this warning about. Okay. I know what is this warning about, but I just want to get so that you will go on the internet and then start looking into what are the different types of error. Okay. So try to find out what is this error is all about. Okay. Why I'm ignoring? Because it's a warning only, and I know what exactly is this one. If you guys do not find anything, email me, then I will explain to you guys what's going on. Okay. Now execute. Data is okay. Right. Did we not have the info package here? So there is something, right? We didn't create an info package at all. What happens? It will not help us. Yes. See, you see a difference here? In this data source, we had an info package. Here, we don't have an info package, right? So there will be no data loaded actually. What I will do is create an info package here. Okay. ZIP MD text. Yeah. Okay. The data source is only you are trying to visualize the data from what is available in the flat file. From there, to bring it to the SAP, you should always create an info package. Remember right now. Okay. Start. Okay, it says data was requested. And 9 records, right? If you want to see records available or not, double click on this data source. Go here. Okay. Manage info source. Okay. Okay, you see that, right? The data is there right now, right? Okay, what I'm going to do now is this class is a very good, we did a lot of debugging we are doing, right? Let me go back to the text file here. Click on the text file. Okay. Yes, there is no record added. I'm going to delete this one. Okay. Okay. Right. Again, one more time. Let's go to the data transfer process and then try to execute again. Let's see now what is happening here. So it says 9 records added, right? So these are all the common mistakes we will do when we are trying to load data. So no, you should always make sure, even though you make something, do not panic. Okay, you try to see, okay, the steps are there or not. Okay, data source, info package, transformation, DTP. If everything is there, then for sure you will have the data in the info provider. Okay, so now we have loaded the data from flat file to the master data attribute and text. Okay, here I will like this next one. Okay, info package. Step 4 is what? Create. Okay. Transformation. This is step 5, right? Transformation. Step 6. Create DTP. Okay. All right. So these are the steps we should do in loading the data. All right. So with this we complete the master data loading into the business warehouse. Okay. In the next class, we can see how do you activate the activation of business content. Okay, this is another important topic. We will see that in the next class. All right. Okay. That's all for today, and I will give you an assignment also. Like I'm going to give you a step-by-step instruction as well, assignment as well for you guys on this one. Okay. You can, for the assignment, you can do the same thing, like whatever I have created. Create a, you just follow the same thing and then try to do the assignment again, repeat it. Because even though you listen to the class, when you try to do by yourself, there is a probable chance that you might miss something and it will not give you an exact answer, right? So you try to do the same thing what I did right now. Try to load assignment. Load master data and text for the sample file attached. I will send you the the attachment is data sample file, okay, data file. You can use that file and then create a load the data into BW. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.